Hey everyone, this is another walk and talk. Call me what you want. I guess this could be another zigzag wanderer, but I can guarantee today we'll have zero interactions because a lot of people do not walk in the trails on a day that has snowed. So this has been one day after what they called the blizzard of 2026 in New York City. I think people have forgotten how it used to snow quite a bit before. You know, this is certainly not New York's first snowstorm, you know, but here we are. And it's not so bad because the snow was a little bit more, was more dense, you know, it was a more heavier snow. And that's because when the snow fell, it was like 32, 33 degrees, just a little above freezing, but a lot came down. And you know, I do like snow. It is nice. It is beautiful, as you can see, you know, but the thing that I just can't stand is how those snowplow trucks push all of that dirty snow on top of your car. So even if you want to have fun or you think it's a good workout to shovel snow, you're stuck shoveling dirt snow. Ugh. Anyway, so I'm here in Queens. Since this is a Queens show, you can guess where I am if you know your way around New York City. Who would think that we were right here in the city? And it's really beautiful to see so many trees. But walking on this snow, there's a path here, but it's a little tricky to walk, slippery. So this is really me walking along this little path here, as you can see. I don't really have a lot to talk about today, but I figured, you know, this would be a perfect time to a walk and talk because, you know, why not? And one thing that was on my mind, you see, this is what people are talking about when they're saying that the snow unearths all of this. Look at that. People don't pick up after their dogs. Ugh. And this is what makes the snow. This is what the last snowstorm, after it melted, everyone saw how dirty it was because people were not picking up after their dogs. They thought the snow was hiding all that dog poo. Anyway, so today I thought I'd talk about something called what I notice is the copycat era. Well, I wouldn't say era, it's always been happening, you know? And I'll give you an example. You know, I'm scrolling through Instagram and, you know, they have these little 10-minute, 5-second bits of people doing things. And there was something where people said, someone said, this is how I look when I turn the oven off. And they showed different cuts as to how they're double checking that the stove is turned off before they leave the house. And I guess it seemed kind of interesting for 5 seconds. And then suddenly there was so many people doing the same thing after that. There were so many users, you know, putting up these little reels of them checking the stove before they leave the house. And after a while, it got kind of stale. I'm not saying that you can't add something unique to an existing idea like that. I'm sure if I were to do ways I look before I double check the stove is off, it might be interesting. But then, you know, before you find that one interesting clip, you're subjected to like 10, 15 mediocre clips. So, and by the time you do get to the interesting one, the concept is already stale. Same thing with what they call all that TikTok dancing. You know, the dance moves are always the same. Moving the hands a certain way, the legs. It's not a true dancer dancing. And that's fine and all, but when the movements are imitative and you see it so many times, it gets stale. you know. There's no one. This is nice, actually. It's peaceful. Until you get robbed, killed, I don't know. So, but that was my 2 cents about the Copycat stage. And, I'm sure you may have known sometimes, they may play a song and they'll sample a piece of an older song, loop it over a newer song, and the new song would not be good at all. But people would like it because they're hearing the riff of an older song, and then they think that the new song, the artist, is a genius. It's so easy to trick people. And one example that comes to mind is Kraftwerk. A lot of people have sampled Kraftwerk, and you would hear people really excited about the tune, and even newer songs as if it was genius. But it's not their song, it's not their tune. So much for art. I wonder what happens to other unknown artists whose music has been sampled, or even people whose ideas have been recycled over and over again. This is nice, isn't it? So that was my 2 cents on that. Just completely random thoughts. I was watching, only now I'm actually uploading some of my older clips to public access TV, including a clip I did with Miss Poopy Duty about unboxing an iPad. And I know initially when I did it, I was sort of like, oh, I don't really think this is that interesting. I don't know what this is about. But then just recently, because, I had to prepare the files and I was watching a few minutes of it, I was like, it's not so bad. And it's a pity some of those clips didn't gain a lot of traction on the internet. I mean, it is buried. Definitely buried. So that was my opinion. That's all I really had to say, except, well, that's it. I also noticed when people edit their clips, you never see, you do see, but a lot of times you don't see people just talking freely without an edit. Like all this I'm doing would be edited out, sped up, sliced and cut. So everything is so fast, which is okay if you have like a film or something. Yes, edits are important, but just freely improvising. People just sometimes don't have the patience. They want something to happen, and nothing will happen. Well, I hope nothing happens. So if people want to guess where I am in Queens, I would love to hear that. Where do you think I am? How come there's so many trees in the city? Well, I'm not in Manhattan, I'm in Queens, but how come even Queens? How come it's not congested? Where are the apartment buildings? When I walked this trail yesterday, I couldn't even make it into the trail because the snow was so, it's so, see, oops, no, you can't see. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The snow was so deep. What am I doing? Here, let me show. See? Well, this is not really that deep, but it was pretty much like up to my knee, and it was too difficult to walk like that. So there was only one set of footprints, or I guess snowshoe footprints I was walking on. And funny, just less than 24 hours later, now there was a path. I mean, think of all the people that decided to take a walk and enjoy the snow. They made a little path. Anyway, so I think I'll just make this a short one before I ramble on too much. And hope everyone enjoys the snow walk. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more later, or who knows when. Bye.